So today we will be learning about autoencoders and PCA and what is the basic difference between them, why do we use them, what are its application and so on. So for the first thing, why do we need this autoencoders and PCA? The main reason behind this is the need for dimensionality reduction. Now you must be thinking what is dimensionality reduction? So you must have gone through so many databases which consist of unnecessary data or the attributes that we really don't require while analyzing something or getting some sort of information. So in order to remove such dimensions or the attributes from the database in order to keep our analysis very efficient and cost effective and time effective, we need dimensionality reduction. So basically, in machine learning projects, we often run into a curse of dimensionality problem where the number of records of data are not a substantial factor of the number of features. Means it says that when the number of records is not that mandatory, but the number of features is of great importance. So in that case, even if we have unnecessary attributes over there, so that can cause the our analysis part, it can make it a complex one, and also it will lead some sort of poor fitting, and also it will give poor generalization. Let's study this in second point. This often leads to a problem since it means training a lot of parameters using a scarce data set, which can easily lead to overfitting and poor generalization. As I told you, that it can lead to overfitting. You must be remembering what is overfitting. So I think I don't have to repeat it again. So overfitting, when we have large number of attributes to train that within the set for single generalization purpose, it will lead an overfitting. Lots of attributes and lots of training over them, it will lead to poor generalization as well. So, this is the main reason why we need dimensionality reduction. High dimensionality also means very large training times. So, dimensionality reduction techniques are commonly used to address these issues. These issues means first the overfitting, then poor generalization, and also the training times. It is often true that despite residing in high dimensional space, feature space has a low dimensional structure. Now, what are the ways of reducing these dimensions? The first is PCA and the second is autoencoders. Now, let us get through it. What is this PCA and autoencoders? So PCA is essentially, it learns a linear transformation that projects the data into another space where vectors of projections are defined by variance of the data. Means on the basis of variance of the data, it is projecting the linear transformation into another space. See, once if we project vectors on the basis of variance, we can easily classify, or we can easily clusterify our information. So that will make our the problem of dimensional reduction a, a simpler form. Meanwhile, by restricting the dimensionality to a certain number of components that account for most of the variance of the data set, we can achieve dimensionality reduction. As I told you earlier also, that for certain number of components, we have some attributes. Just suppose that, and we are not getting, or we are not able to generalize that. So in that case, we'll use PCA, which will make a variance form, or we can say it can transform that linear vector into a, it will project into a another space, which will clusterify, and finally it will make a clusters in on the basis of its variance. So in this way, PCA helps out in the dimensionality reduction and get into the generalized form, reducing the overfitting and large training times. Here is the reference given. After this reference, now coming towards the autoencoder. Autoencoders are neural networks that can be used to reduce the data into a low dimensional latent space by stacking multiple nonlinear transformations, or we can say the nonlinear layers. It is a form of neural network. Autoencoders have encoder and decoder architecture. The encoder maps the input to latent space and decoder reconstructs the input. They are trained using backpropagation for accurate reconstruction of the input. In the latent space, it has a lower dimension than the input. Autoencoders can be used for dimensionality reduction. By intuition, these low dimensional latent variables should encode most important features of the input since they are capable of reconstructing it. Means at the encoder side, it decides which variable has the most important feature, and so on. It will take it as a it will take as an input to latent space, and then further at the decoder side it will reconstruct the input, and then it is being trained using backpropagation for accurate reconstruction of the input. Now coming towards the comparison part, PCA is essentially a linear transformation, but autoencoders are capable of modeling complex nonlinear functions. PCA features are totally linearly uncorrelated with each other since features are projections onto the orthogonal basis, but autoencoded features might have correlations since they are just trained for accurate reconstruction. PCA is faster and computationally cheaper than encoders. A single layered autoencoder with a linear activation function is very similar to PCA. Autoencoder is prone to overfitting due to high number of parameters, though regularization and careful design can avoid this. Now, when to use which? That means when you can use PCA or when you can use autoencoders, let us discuss over it. Apart from the consideration about computational resources, the choice of technique depends on the properties of feature space itself. If the features have nonlinear relationship with each other, then autoencoder will be able to compress the information better into low dimensional latent space, leveraging its capability to model complex nonlinear functions. Means if the features have nonlinear relationship, means the features have, they're not linear, and such kind of relationship they have between amongst the feature, so in that case we can use autoencoder because it has the great ability to map that information into low dimensional latent space, and finally due to which we can finally we can compute that model accordingly. Now what does it mean for the features to have non-linear relationship? So for that also I have provided here the reference link. You can go ahead and get through the link and learn. Now we have different types of auto encoders which we will learn in our upcoming lecture. We have denoising autoencoder, sparse autoencoder, contractive autoencoder, undercomplete autoencoder, convolutional autoencoder, variational autoencoder, and deep autoencoder. So we will be learning about each and every uh, autoencoder with its benefits, what are its demerits in the upcoming lecture video. Thank you.